Attention nurses. Want to win some amazing prizes? From scrubs to stethoscopes, shoes, and even cash, Nurse.org has giveaways just for you. Don't miss out. Head to Nurse.org/win to see the latest giveaway and enter now. You're listening to Nurse Converse, presented by Nurse.org, a collaborative podcast amplifying diverse nurse voices. Get ready for a dose of inspiration, a sprinkle of education, and a whole lot of community.
Hey Nurse Besties, it's your girl, Enfermera Mami, aka Nurse Reb. My name is Rebeca Leon, and I'll be your host for today's podcast of the Nurse Converse podcast from Nurse.org. From Bedside to Boardroom, how volunteer leadership transformed my nursing career. So, I don't know about for you, but for me, my journey as a nurse in the professional setting has not always been linear. Within 5 years in my personal journey, I started working in general surgery, worked through COVID as a baby nurse, transferred to the neonatal ICU, made my way to outpatient oncology, and then finally found my professional purpose in nursing professional development. The one common thread for me in all of these different specialties has been making education accessible. But it wasn't just my nursing career and journey that led me into nursing professional development. Working at a national level for my sorority really allowed me to gain transferable skills in leadership, communication, and, of course, education. As chair of the national committee, I learned how to manage multi-level projects and mentor members across the nation. I gained experience in how to effectively engage and educate people of diverse backgrounds. And over a 3-year period, just 3 years, this volunteer work, in conjunction with the work that I was doing as a nurse, led me to 3 career promotions and advancement in my professional role to become a nursing professional development practitioner, and of course, now leader within my healthcare system. But let's take a step back really quick and talk about how we even got here. So my personal journey in nursing started when I was a little girl. I was always really interested in healthcare and I wanted to be a doctor. But unfortunately, that was not in the cards, and that's okay. I always say that nursing really found me. When I was in my undergraduate program and trying to figure out what my next steps were going to be, I really took the time to try to figure out what that was going to look like. And because of that, I was able to find nursing. And I actually became a certified nurse aide before I started nursing school, which then led me to my first career job as a nurse. In working night shift as a nurse tech, I was able to land my first job, and I will never forget working on that unit because it was irreparably deemed the most difficult unit to work at in my hospital. But I knew that if I could go there and work as a nurse, I could work anywhere. Now, very shortly after that, I was putting that to the test 100% entirely and wholeheartedly because just 1 year and a few weeks into my nursing journey, COVID happened. And subsequently, my unit shut down, which led me to have to work in different areas of the hospital. And like I so thought that I would, have to work everywhere and know that I could. Working on that unit also allowed me to start to see that my passions really were learning how to make things easier for people that I work with, taking something that might be difficult to understand and make it fun and engaging. Because if I made it easy enough for me, I knew that it would be easy enough for somebody else. After a few months of working COVID and having to switch gears, I ended up going to the neonatal ICU or the NICU, which was my favorite place to work in the sense of I absolutely adore that patient population. And it was something that I knew I had in me and always wanted to do and be a part of. But unfortunately, in working time on that unit, I realized that while my heart was with that patient population, my eagerness and my professional growth just wasn't going to happen in the way that I wanted it to there. Now, what I always thought was going to be my nursing journey was working in general surgery, then going to the neonatal ICU, and then starting school to be a neonatal nurse practitioner. And that would be the end all be all. But life is funny, and it doesn't always happen that way, of course. So, after working in the neonatal ICU for 11 months, I decided that I needed to look somewhere else and see where I could grow professionally and where I could make the impact that I personally wanted to make and knew that I could make. So I was blessed to be able to go to outpatient oncology because one of the senior leaders there took a chance on me and told me the one thing that I think I will never forget. You can teach a nurse any specialty, but you can't teach them how to care. And that really stuck with me because it's true. For me, I could learn any specialty. And in many ways, I had to in such a short amount of time. But I knew that at the end of the day, I always cared not just about our patients, but about the nurses that I worked with. And again, just going back to trying to make it a little bit easier for everybody involved, myself included. So, because of that, really, I had to find adaptability and continuous learning in all of the roles that I took on as a nurse because in switching specialties, in some ways so frequently in such a short amount of time, I had to make sure that my skills were transferable and that I could do something more. Little did I know that outpatient oncology would be the place that I just absolutely flourished. Don't get me wrong, I will be the first to tell you, I don't know everything about oncology. I don't. But that's okay because I am continuing to learn. And I'm in a space and place where I can thrive and engage with that. Now, to bring it back a little bit, that was my nursing journey. At the same time that all of that was happening in my professional nursing career, I was doing a lot of work outside of work. For me, it started in undergrad when I was looking for a group of women or just a group of people that looked like me as a immigrant, as a Latina, and really wanted to see my progress and growth. People that I saw as leaders, as boss women that I could learn from. And so, as much as I didn't know that that was going to be a part of my journey, I became a sorority girl. And in becoming a sorority girl, you can't really take that at face value. And when I say that, what I mean is there is so much more than just the sisterhood and the fun, as I soon came to learn. While I was an undergrad, part of our mission and vision was to make sure that we put out educational programs for social awareness and for charity. In the different roles that I was able to hold while I was an undergrad and going through nursing school, it started to sow the seeds in me of creating educational programming, speaking with individuals on a one-on-one basis, finding out what makes them tick, making something out of nothing, hosting events, project management by dealing with different types of projects and work all at once, and overall making an impact on my community campus, which in turn really made an impact on me. And this impact would last through my undergraduate career and into my adult life. I can honestly say that if I had not joined this organization, I don't know that I would be the woman that I am today. I don't know that I would be the nurse that I am today. Because once I graduated, I was able to join a national committee just as a member because I wanted to participate in something and give back to my undergraduate community and help others. So, with those roles, I was able to continue to develop that spark that was inside of me. I was able to really make something that was fun, but developed skills that I knew that I had, but didn't realize how far they would take me. In being a member of that national committee, I was able to continue to create programming for undergraduate students, present to large crowds, learn how to manage social media, especially for the Gen Zs, because as someone that is a little bit older, as a millennial, it is a totally different ballgame now. But being in that space and in that role allowed me to foster those skills. And it's had other people see this spark and passion within me to then encourage me to transition into becoming a chair for that national committee. Now, being a chair of a national committee for me was a little scary and a little intimidating. I didn't know what it would mean and the work that I would do, really. I also would then be exposed on a much larger level to nationwide projects, nationwide educational initiatives, creating admin documents, and managing a group of highly motivated individuals in a way that I had never done before. But with the little bit of faith that my sisters gave me, and with the incredible team that I was able to work with, they continued to develop what was already inside of me. With this work, I was then able to transition and now continue working as chair of the national committee.
Enjoying this episode? We want to hear from you. Share your feedback and support your favorite host by completing a quick survey, and you'll be entered for a chance to win a $50 Amazon gift card. Head over to Nurse.org/podcast and let us know what you think.
And it really developed my leadership skills. It developed my communication skills and showed me what it means to be a leader outside of the healthcare setting. It showed me what it means to create education. It showed me what it meant to recruit. And for me, and how that transfers over to nursing is, of course, leading groups of nurses in a more traditional leadership role, which I became the unit nurse educator for my outpatient oncology setting. kind of was my stepping stone into leadership in the world of nursing. And even though, as a nurse, I didn't feel like I had all of the knowledge for oncology, especially at that time, and I still don't feel like I do, I did have the capacity to lead groups of people, be an impactful speaker, create educational materials in a way that were not only usable, but beautiful and innovative. And again, while I didn't have everything for the specialty, I had everything for the role that they wanted me to do, which was to be the unit nurse educator and take all of these changes and innovation that were happening on a day-to-day basis and make them more accessible for my staff. It was to engage with them in a way that allowed me to understand where they were and what they wanted to do, not just in the work that they're doing on the day-to-day basis, but also just in life, in their careers. And this wasn't just nurses, this was also medical assistants and LPNs, licensed practical nurses, as well as our providers, our doctors, our nurse practitioners, and our physician assistants that all worked well together in this cohesive outpatient oncology unit, but needed somebody to give them that little extra push into excellence. And thankfully, I was able to step into that kind of role and have a resume behind me that, while nothing to do with nursing, everything to do with what I wanted to do and everything that could be beneficial when stepping into a role like that. I remember going to my manager and asking her whether or not I was even qualified for that position, and she told me I should just apply. And I remember going and taking my little iPad and showing them all of the things that I had created for my sorority. And their response was, "We didn't even know you could do all of that." And I said, "Well, yeah, because I didn't know that I could do that as a nurse." And I think that's where we underestimate ourselves and our skills sometimes. At least I know I did. Because in not knowing that those skills and those things could be part of my nursing career, I almost limited myself and didn't take that leap of faith to then continue on. And because of the work that I was able to do as unit nurse educator, it put me on a platform within my healthcare system to where other individuals started seeking me out for the skills that I had that have absolutely nothing to do with nursing, in the traditional sense at least. A little bit down the line, not even a year later, I was able to get that promotion as a nursing professional development specialist. And now I'm working on my master's degree and about to get my nursing professional development board certification. And had it not been because of the work that I did outside of work, I don't know that I would have gotten this far this quickly. Now, how this feeds back into my sorority and how the two things come together is with the work that I was able to do with my organization that then I took over to my nursing role and applied. I was then able to go back to my sorority and apply for a national award and be nominated and presented that award, which was New Professional of the Year. Now, this was an accolade I didn't even know that I could achieve, if I'm being honest. But it was then something that I could put on my resume and take back to my nursing job and say, hey, the work that I am doing in both of these realms is impactful and meaningful and being recognized. So, what can I do to continue to merge those two things and those two passions that I have to create the nursing career that I want to have? All of this, especially within the last year, has led me into a journey of discovery and now passion for nursing professional development. Because many times, in my experience at least, nursing education, nursing schools, they can tend to focus on medical specialties. I know my program, and in my experience, there was a lot of focus on medical specialties. And once you graduate, you go to the bedside and you work in surgonc or general surgery or medical floors, those kinds of things. Or labor and delivery, of course, and the NICU. But at that point in time, I had never heard that I could also go into nursing professional development or that I could become a nurse leader by being a nurse manager, or that I could do all of these other vital roles in nursing that allows me to bring my passions into the work that I do every single day. That's more than just my passion for taking care of patients and ensuring that we are delivering high quality care, especially to the patient population that I serve of oncology patients. Nursing has truly become such a specialized profession in a way that nursing schools just can't cover the depth of what a career in nursing can look like. In my role and in my experience, I've found that many nurses, including myself, seek out second degrees or higher degrees to try and develop their careers, but often may come back to the bedside thinking that's all there is. Because of the specialized nature of nursing and the limitations that we face in traditional education and just general awareness of roles, many times individuals feel like there's only one way to advance your career. And I'm here to tell you that everything that you do within the walls of a hospital or even outside in the work that you do can be impactful and help you create and curate the career that you want to have in nursing. So that's why it is so important for nurses to explore all of the diverse nursing specialties like leadership, education, research, and remember the things that we are passionate about. Remember the things that made us have that spark when we were in undergrad. Those dreams and those goals that we aspired to more than just being a nurse. Because we are so much more than that, and nursing is so much more than that. My goal now as a nursing professional development specialist is really to guide nurses through the process of discovery and career advancement. This can sometimes be messy, and it's not always talked about, but I feel like the conversation is changing now. So, really, my call to action is making sure that we know the importance of being open to different nursing specialties and roles. Don't limit yourself, regardless of whether or not you've been in a specialty for a long period of time or a short period of time. Encourage yourself and each other to seek out mentorship and educational opportunities outside of the bedside, because you'll never know what you find and you'll never know if the skills that you gained can be applicable to your work setting. I really want to encourage you all to embrace the messy and yet rewarding nature of the discovery of a nursing career and really what that can mean for us. Because I know so many of us, myself included, are so high achieving and so ambitious in the work that we do. but sometimes we just need a little bit of guidance and education to figure out what that can look like and what that can mean. So, if you liked this episode, please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review, or even share the podcast with a friend. If you are interested in nursing and learning more about discovering your careers, nursing professional development, and things of that like, please feel free to follow me. My name is Rebeca Leon, Enfermera Mami, aka Nurse Reb, and I am your Latina nursing professional development specialist. Please be sure to follow Nurse.org to stay up to date with all things nursing and all things healthcare. And as always, I'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining Nurse Converse, brought to you by Nurse.org. Help us grow by leaving a 5-star rating and review on your favorite podcast platform. Nurse.org supports nurses with career and education tips, life advice, and breaking news. Thank you for all you do and for being you.